In today's video, I'm going to show you 10 reasons why Bitcoin is about to drop. Starting off with reason number one, I'm not going to waste a single second of your time. We're getting straight into it. Ether is hitting a major resistance level right here at 4,343, which you're thinking, Alex, I thought this was a video about why Bitcoin is about to drop. Why are you showing me a chart of Ether? Because all these things are correlated, and if Ether is hitting a major resistance, it's also going to have some kind of effect on the Bitcoin price because all these things are paired together. For example, a BTC slash Ether pair, right? They're paired together. So all these things are correlated, connected to one another, and that's reason number one. We've got a volume divergence on this triple top here at this key level for Ether right there, right? So as we move higher, the volume is moving lower, which tells us that there's a higher probability that we will probably hold resistance here at this major level and come back down in Ether. And if Ether is going to come back down, then you guessed it, Bitcoin is likely to come down as well. So that's actually 1 to 2 reasons, depending on if you count that volume divergence as one. Moving on. We've got exponential moving averages crossing both the 10 and 20 to the downside. Last time that happened, you can see what happened here. Bitcoin dropped that day. And then shortly after, yeah, we did go sideways for a little, but ultimately we did make a move lower for another 5,000 point drop in Bitcoin from 45k at the time that the cross initiated down to 40k by the time that downward move was over. And so when you have a bearish cross here on the 10 and 20, and you have the 50 exponential moving average as resistance, you've got all three of those moving averages right above you. That is not good. At least if you're a bull, it's not good. So that's another 2 reasons, right? 50 period exponential moving average as resistance, plus the 10 and 20 crossing also right above you as a resistance. Reason number 4 or 5 we're going to say here is the fact that Bitcoin is selling off on extremely strong volume, and then when it bounces, it's on very weak volume. This is by far the most important thing you could take away from this video, guys. Okay, because for example, when you're in a bull trend, you can see you push up on strong volume and you pull back on low sell volume, right? Now the difference is here, when we shifted bearish, you can see you sell off on strong volume, and then when you bounce, look at the green volume bars, right? Super small, right? So you're selling off on strong volume, you're bouncing on low volume. That is an extremely, extremely bearish sign, and that's not what you want to see if you're a bull. So that's reason number 5, right? Because in a bull trend, you push up on strong volume, pull back on low volume. Bear trend, you push down on strong volume, and you come back up on low volume. And so that is a key characteristic to identify there. Now, next reason we're about to get into is the pattern that you see right in front of you. Now, to keep it PG, we could say that this is a double Patrick house pattern, right? Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants, remember the house that he lives in? Yeah, we could say it's a double Patrick house. Some would call it a titties pattern, and some would call it a butt pattern. But at the end of the day, whichever way you slice it, whichever pattern or name you want to give it, this is a bearish pattern because what we see here is the same pattern repeating from this first correction we had during this bull run-up. And so if you're not seeing it, let me break it down. We set a high right here in Bitcoin. Then you can see we slightly went past higher that high, right? We went past that high just a little bit, and then we dumped off, right? And if we measure the move from this past top down, it was a 25% drop. Okay, now, what do you notice about this second Patrick house? The exact same thing. We set a high right here. Then you can see we slightly overshot past that high up to 69k. And guess what, right? Same exact thing. High, slightly above that high, dump. High, slightly above that high, dump. And on top of that, these both happened in the second half of the month, right? So you can see here, this dump off began on the 20th and 19th of September. Here, it happened November 15th. So they both happened in the second half of the month. They're pretty much identical setups. And if we got a 25% drop from this high right here, well, let's just take a measurement from 69,000. If we got a 25% drop as well, where would that take you down to? 51,000. And this, I mean, look, guys, look at that. It's incredible. It's an incredible pattern that's playing out extremely similarly, right? It won't be exact, but it's going to be very similar. And so just based off of this 25% move we got last time, I do expect something similar this time, and that gives us a price target around 51, 52,000, which would be a connection of the higher lows we would still be creating in this uptrend, as you can see right there, right? So something to keep in mind, yeah, you could drop to 51K and still overall be in a uptrend and a bull trend. You see what I mean? So don't panic, don't freak out. That could be the best time to buy. Although we got to be careful, we could break through that trend line and this could get a lot more ugly. But right now we're not even there, so let's not worry about it. Just stay subscribed to the channel and I'll let you know once we get there. But that's like reason number 6 or 7 here on why Bitcoin is likely to go lower. Moving on to what your 7th or 8th reason here is the demand zone, which has now recently turned into a supply zone, or at least that's what we think is going to happen here, right? And so what does that mean? Well, previously, this 58K area used to be a demand zone, right? Meaning there was a lot of demand for Bitcoin at this area, right? So here, they bought Bitcoin. 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 And finally, we broke below that. And now, what was formerly known as a demand zone is going to turn into a supply zone most likely. In most cases, that's what's going to happen. And so why is it called a supply zone? Well, because think about it. Before there was a ton of demand there, and now there's going to be a ton of supply overhead of, for example, people trying to break even, right? People who bought here, then it dipped lower, and now they're losing money. Now it's going to get up here, and they're going to want to get out for break even. So that's where it turned from demand into supply. You see what I mean? And that's just one of many ways that demand turns into supply, which in this case turns into resistance, which in this case obviously increases the chances of a reversal back to the downside. So that's reason number 7 or 8 there. Now, reason number 8 or 9 here is the volume divergence that we're seeing in Bitcoin. So as if the low volume on the buy side wasn't convincing enough, right? You're selling off an extremely strong volume, and then when you're going up, right, when they're buying it, it's on extremely low volume. But on top of that, you have a Bitcoin volume divergence, meaning the higher we go, the less and less buyers are actually stepping in to push the price higher. That's an extremely bearish sign, guys. And so we're in this, what was formerly known as the demand zone. It's now a supply zone with a volume divergence, with Ether hitting its top level of resistance right here, right? And with all these factors I've pointed out, all the resistance that you have above with volume that is bearish, you have an extremely, extremely high probability of a reversal here in Bitcoin. So I want to point out the 9th or 10th final reason, which is the fact that the trend has reversed. Actually, I've got 2 reasons here. Okay, just realized. All right, so let's go out to the 8-hour time frame. First off, obviously, this was an uptrend here, right? Well, now in the short term, we've seen a reversal of trend, setting lower highs and lower lows, right? You can see that here. So lower high there, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low. And this right here would literally just be another lower high in the scenario, in the series. Connect the dots, right? We're still making our way lower. And so if we are to expect to make another lower low, well, let's just say it's right below this low right here as just a modest low, like an undercut, right? Just to barely get below this low. That would take us down to 54, 55K. Just if we just barely get under this low. Now, obviously, for example, when you broke this low, you went another from 62K down to 58K, right? So I'm not saying, like I said, there's a good possibility the next low could take us lower. I'm just trying to be modest in this scenario and say, look, even if we just barely break this low, that's taking us down to 55K, assuming the trend continues, assuming we continue to make those higher lows and lower highs, right? So keep that in mind. So not only has the trend reversed from making higher lows and higher highs, it's now making lower highs and lower lows, right? So that's reason number 9. And then, guys, if you thought things couldn't get any more bearish, here's reason number 10 to cap it all off. So since we've seen the trend reversal at 69K, right? Look at how many green candles you've got consecutively on a 8-hour time frame. Okay, this is just a simple fact that we can abuse during this short-term environment as a trader, right? So look at this. Ever since we set the top at 69K, on an 8-hour time frame, you've never seen Bitcoin have more than 2 green candles on an 8-hour time frame consecutively, right? What do I mean by that? Check this out. Look, one green candle here. What do you see? It drops after. One green candle, and then the next one is a red one, right? Green candle, the next one's a red one. green candle, the next one's a red one. You get 2 green candles and a bunch of red ones. 1 green candle and a bunch of red ones, right? So previous to now, or prior to now, the max green candles we've seen in a row on the 8-hour time frame is 2 green candles, right? The biggest winning streak Bitcoin has went on is 16 hours straight of bullish price action on the 8-hour time frame, right? Whereas when we're in a bull trend, look at this. You'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive green candles, right? So 4 green candles times 8 hours, that's 32 hours straight of bullish price action, right? Look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 green candles times 8 hours. That's 64 hours of sustained bullish price action. Since we've flipped the trend, you haven't seen Bitcoin go higher for more than 16 hours at a given time. You see what I mean? And so just abusing this simple fact, okay, you can see we never went higher for more than 16 hours. Well, right now we are on that 3rd green candle, but we know that based on the momentum shift we're seeing here, this is the new record, right? So that's a good sign if you're a bull, but at the same time, don't expect it to really, last that much longer, because since we've reversed trend, you haven't seen Bitcoin have more than 2 green candles in a row on an 8-hour time frame, right? It hasn't been able to sustain any bullish momentum for any sustained period of time since we set that trend reversal. You see what I mean? So finally, reason number 11 and 12. Let's get into reason number 11 here, why Bitcoin is going to go lower. You have a RSI downtrend right here. Okay, clear as day. It doesn't get any clearer than that. Okay, so that's simple. That's the easiest thing to point out. All right, so 8-hour time frame, RSI downtrend, done. That's reason number 11. And reason number 12, final reason, one of the least important, but still one to point out. On an 8-hour time frame, what do you notice last time? Bitcoin rejected at the 10 EMA. And where is it right now? It's at the 10 EMA. Now, this doesn't mean we're going to reject at the 10 exponential moving average again, but it is a resistance. It is working against the price of Bitcoin. It is in combination with so many other bearish factors that all these bearish factors, they just stack on top of each other. And that's just what maximizes the probability and ensures that you're probably going to be right about saying it's going down. Okay, so remember, here we rejected, came down. Here we are currently rejecting, but it's a little too early to say. But like I said, it's just all these factors coming together is what give you such a high probability of a reversal to the downside. So guys, just assuming the trend sustains this downward trajectory, as long as we just set a lower low than what was previously set, that would take you down to at least 55k from here. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And that's what I'm looking out for. So guys, that is 12 reasons why Bitcoin is likely to move lower. I hope you can see all those reasons now, and I hope you see what I'm seeing. So, a lot of channels, they're going to say it's bullish. We broke down 12 reasons technically and not fundamentally. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoy this technical analysis and breakdown. If you did, drop a like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed. And on top of that, guys, if you want to learn how to read charts like this so you can have high conviction, high confidence in your plays, in your analysis, make sure you go to crashtrading.com and take our charts and technical analysis course. This is by far the most important course you will ever take if you're trying to be a more profitable person, whether that's an investor or a trader in this market. You have to know how to read charts, or else it's just like driving a car without a GPS in a new country you've never been to. Okay, because the market is always going to be unexplored territory every day, every year, and so you need a GPS, and the only way you're going to have a GPS and directions to navigate this market is if you know how to read charts. So if you're going around town without a GPS in a new country, then yeah, maybe you shouldn't take this course. You're a little too weird. But that being said, you're a regular person, this course is going to benefit you hugely, and I highly recommend it. Obviously, if you want to trade live with me, you can at crashtrading.com. You can sign up for free, guys. You don't pay until you actually make the profits. And so we are trading this market, guys. And you'll see what's up soon, man. You guys will see what's up. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Obviously, I could sit here and I could make a reason, a 12 reasons why it's bullish. Although I don't know if I could come up with 12 reasons technically. Right? Not fundamentally, but technically. And so, guys, things aren't looking good. I'm going to keep it real with you here on this channel. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. And that is exactly why I see Bitcoin reversing lower and continuing this downward trajectory. So, guys, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.